I'm Barbara Eberlein, designer and lifetime learner thanks to the ICAA. Welcome to this final video in the Classicism at Home series on the restoration of Ardrossan, an early 20th century masterpiece by Horace Trumbauer, built in 1912 for the Montgomery family. In previous talks, we learned about the house, the family, and the comprehensive restoration efforts over a 9-year period. Today, we'll see how context creates lasting value in the houses we love and provides tangible connection to our personal history. The architects of the 19th and early 20th century created robust, dynamic houses for robust, dynamic people. In an age of keen focus on social status and the substantial new wealth required to achieve it, their work spanned a remarkable range of styles while developing distinctly rich architectural language. The titans of industry, whose fortunes were made, like the Montgomerys, in railroads, banking, transportation, and law, were the champions of these architects. They demanded critical combinations of aesthetics, the breadth of which encouraged personal expression while creating signature structures of supreme confidence and unerring mastery. Powerful plutocrats were accustomed to getting what they wanted, and Trumbauer's tremendous facility with numerous architectural styles held wide appeal for this demanding clientele. Let's look at just a few. From the crenellated castles with Edwardian appendages, here is Grey Towers, done in 1893 when Trumbauer was 25 years old, to the Italian Renaissance at Elstow, from Tudor Revival at Cheltenham House to Woodcrest and Ronell Manor, done 25 years later, from the elegant Georgian of Clarendon Court and Briar Hill to the sumptuous French classical style of the Elms, a style seen also in the 20-foot wide tour de force, the Knight House, the majestic Bloomfield, and the supremely confident Marley. And from the sublime Italianate Miramar to the definitive English Palladian White Marsh, on to the show-stopping 100-room Linwood Hall. What could this man not do? Far from dabbling in a pastiche of historicizing styles to satisfy the whims of his clientele, Trumbauer's work reveals true mastery of the nuances of each with an encyclopedic comprehension of aesthetic composition. When we look again to Ardrossan, we witness these very hallmarks of his exemplary work. Grace, expressed in proportion, scale, and balance. Flow, evident in logic, sequence, and vistas. And elegance, celebrated in formality, materials, and details. And the elegance of the house was equaled by the elegance of the family, dedicated to art, theater, dance, and music. Obsessed with horses, hounds, beagling, and the hunt. Passionate about the land, the farm, and the community. Renowned for entertaining at every imaginable scale, they were, above all, devoted to their family. Ancestors powerful, spirited, and glamorous were painted by Thomas Sully, Jacob Eichholz, George Romney, and Charles Willson Peale. And their portraits surrounded the Colonel and Mrs. Montgomery, who were also depicted most expressively. But perhaps the most glamorous ones of all were their children, celebrated in portraits by de Laszlo, Sir William Orpin, Ignacio Zuloaga, Sir John Lavery, and Augustus John. Here we see Charlotte Ives, Robert Alexander Arnulf, Mary Binney, and Helen Hope. It was Hope who gained a reputation for supreme wit, sumptuous parties, and a glittering social scene. And she's shown here, second from the right, with her husband Edgar, and playwright Philip Barry and his wife Ellen, Hope was the inspiration for the character of Tracy Lord in Barrie's 1923 play, You and I, which starred Katharine Hepburn, both on Broadway and in the subsequent film, The Philadelphia Story. It was Ellen Barrie who later described Hope as the golden girl, full of warmth and delight. She rode to the hounds and was bright, witty, and beautiful, and the world was her oyster. And we are forever indebted to this spirited woman who instilled a lifelong love of classical houses in her son, Robert Montgomery Scott. He gave us the opportunity to reinvigorate every element of this extraordinary house. It was he who appreciated that the unmistakable synergy between architecture and design is the foundation for the appeal and longevity that these gracious houses enjoy today. 100 years later, they invite us to approach the interiors with the same spirit of pragmatism and passion that were originally devoted to them. The careful orchestration of thousands of decisions working in harmony produces something memorable and enduring. And when a home is truly responsive to its inhabitants, it enjoys a sense of purpose and relevance, ensuring its survival for generations to come. An animated house exudes life and vigor, becoming a continual presence in our emotional landscape. This is home. Thank you for joining me for this glimpse of the magic and promise of this extraordinary marker in architectural history. What a pleasure to be able to share it.